bleeding. I can raise this. Holy shit. Well, hello everybody. I hope I didn't just blow out your eardrums with that stock countdown. I'm gonna have to get one made. I'm actually talking to somebody about doing that soon. Oh shit! And when I first played that, I was like, I actually had to stop it backstage.
Woke me up.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, we just have Bobby today. Matt is traveling, so only half of hard cut. Or we never. Oh, okay. So our mics are really low, so we have to up our gain. Okay, so just turn up your inputs and just keep your. How do we sound now, guys?
Better?
Does that sound better to everybody? Backstage, we weren't really sure. Nah, well, we'll just go from there. Anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, we only have half of hard cut here today, which I'm still not sure if Bobby is hard or cut, but we haven't decided that yet. But we do have a couple of other guests this week. I turned mine all the way up. Is that better? Goodwin? Just wanna. Okay, well, I'll bring in the guests anyway. So, I'm gonna start with Stupenzo. Sorry, I didn't really. I was not really prepared for my
No
mic to be
worries.
like that.
I think you sound fine, Dark Hour. Hard cut,
I don't
you
know,
might be
yeah.
getting a little fuzz with like
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
background noise.
sure where it's coming from.
I think it's just ambient noise in the room. If you have your background noise checked or whatever, that could
Yeah,
be
I
it.
got the background setting checked on. I'm in a pretty noiseless room, but I'm just going to keep myself muted for most of the time.
All right. Well, it sounds good to me. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invite. It's been a while since I've been on your show. When was the last
Yeah,
time
well,
I was
actually,
on your show?
technically, you've never been on this one. This one's
I've never
brand
been.
new.
Yeah, all right. You know what I mean.
Okay, I don't know if Goodwin's messing with me now. Like, I can't tell.
I mean, I think when I'm hearing you and Bobby together, it's sounding amicable.
Okay. Okay, whatever. He says it's better. Okay, so I will bring in our second guest. Sorry about all the technical difficulties here up front. Last time I had him on, I mistakenly called him a fox, but I now know that he is a Shiba Inu, and that is Rags.
Gee, hi, thank you.
I'm sorry?
Don't worry about it. It's a-okay. I don't mind.
Oh, man. But yeah, so now that we all sound decent, I guess we'll just, we'll get right into it. I think we probably have about a 50-50 split here on the Predator Badlands, and I want to go around the horn, kind of get everybody's opinion. Now Rags is low,
Am I?
I
Oh,
guess.
well, you know me. Or maybe you
I
don't.
I can
If
hear. I mean, it's what I'm hearing. All three. It's like it's close enough.
I can turn it up in the little program thingy here, I
Sure,
suppose, right? That's
wouldn't
probably
hurt.
something it'll let me do. Uh,
It's very awkward.
You
so
know.
either okay, yeah, it doesn't. Let me turn it up let me turn it up somewhere else. Carry on, carry on.
Okay, well, anyway, so yeah, I guess we'll go around the horn. We'll start with Bobby. Why don't you tell us your first thoughts on it? I know you have a video coming out. You cut it all down, so I guess you are the cut side.
Yeah, well, we're working on it. That'll be out later in the week. But yeah, we had a lot of opinions about it. Now, we both, Matt and I, big fans of the original, kind of like the second one, and everything since then is, just whatever. Not exactly what we were hoping for going into a Predator movie. I understand why people are excited about it. The CGI video game cutscene, that kind of just takes me out of it. I'm just not into that style. Story wise, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty basic. I can kind of get behind that, but I don't know if I can get behind that for a Predator movie. It was a little Disneyfied for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like you kind of felt the same way, Dark Hour?
Yeah, I guess I'll go next. Basically, I just felt it was kind of okay. I didn't think it was. I was really annoyed with the general look of it. That was the thing, and it it did drag toward the end, but I didn't hate it. That's the way I put it. I did not hate it. A lot of people were saying it was, daddy issues, the movie. I don't really necessarily agree with that. I do personally think that a lot of the anger toward, the father in the movie was very justified. You can have issues with a lot of the things, but I didn't think that this was the worst movie. Like, it's if you liked Killer of Killers, if you liked Predators, if you liked anything besides the first movie, then this one has a lot of the same stuff in it. It's just a different, in my opinion, it's just a different angle, a different take.
Yeah.
Rags, how's your sound?
How's my sound?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, did you figure out the gain?
Oh,
Thing?
Hey,
I mean, I
sounds good.
could. Yeah, if I sound good, then I sound good.
Yeah, you
That
sound
was
fine. Yeah,
good.
go ahead.
sweet.
So we'll go with
Cool.
you next. I was originally gonna go with you next, but I wanted to wait till you figured out your sound.
All right. Well, I suppose the most. I mean, maybe the most appropriate movie to compare this to in the Predator saga is Prey, considering that that was also a Trachtenberg production, and it was met with sort of, I guess, generally positive reception. I thought myself that Prey was, I mean, it's like 4 out of 10. It has some good stuff in there, but I mean, a shitty protagonist, some plot issues, stuff like that. But it had some stuff that Predator fans would really like, and there are some, there's some good stuff going on in there. So with this being the next movie that he makes, at least in terms of being live action, I think this is an obvious downgrade. This movie sucks. I think that the more that you like Predator, and the more you're interested in learning about predator culture, the more that you might have been really looking forwards to seeing more of that and exploring that, I think the more disappointed you probably should be. Um, I think our protagonist, Deck, is a moron. I think a lot of the stuff that he does is really stupid when the predators have never been, I mean, at least portrayed as stupid, certainly not in any of the good movies. Well, good movie. There's been 1.5 good Predator movies. I think that the decision to saddle him for such extended lengths with this incredibly annoying robot lady was horrifically made. I think that was a really, really bad call there. Um, I think the plot was just, even as basic as it was, it's full of issues, and I don't like the Weyland Yutani representation here. They kind of take a big hit for being stupid themselves. Yeah, there's very, very little that I have to say that's positive about this, and it would probably just be, oh, that creature looks like a big space monster that you should kill, I guess. But that's kind of it. This is a slop movie. It has no one's going to be talking about this in a few weeks. I doubt anyone will look back on it and say it has anything of merit. It will not leave any sort of legacy. I think all that they can hope for is that it pays for itself.
I think it's going to pay for itself. I figure it has to probably make about 250 million to cover everything.
Maybe the
And
budget was 105 million, so
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. So it's about halfway there. I have a feeling they'll make that.
It did
And
get some rebates, like, because they shot entirely in New Zealand, I think. So I think like overall production budget was closer to like 80, but still, movie theaters take half, and then whatever I don't know what marketing was, but
there was barely any more. I'd be shocked if the marketing was much more than maybe like 20 million for this. I think there was like 2 trailers, and that was about it. They didn't do any kind of, I didn't even, most people didn't even realize that it was coming out. Like, a lot of people were like, holy shit, this is out. But not to leave him out in the out there, Stupenzo, what is your opinion?
Well, it is disappointing because the more of these sequels we get for Alien and Terminator and Predator and all these other movies, we just realize the franchises as a whole just aren't very good. We just kind of struck lightning with a bottle. Like, when you actually look at the first Predator movie on paper, it shouldn't be that amazing. It actually is kind of generic on paper, but there's just some kind of magic with McTiernan and the cast and the setting and the Stan Winston special effects, and Predator 2 is obviously the second best Predator, and there's still an enormous drop off in quality. And you could say you like Predators as well. But that being said, this movie, I actually liked it. I thought it was stupid, especially towards the end, and obnoxious. But I mean, I still gave it a solid C plus. Keep in mind, Superman and Fantastic Four and Jurassic World this summer, I gave those like a D plus, C minus. They were not as good. I actually like this more than those movies. I see the problem with these franchises. Jurassic Park's another franchise that just the more sequels you make, the worse it gets. But that being said, I mean, this movie, it is more for general audiences, and I understand nerfing the violence and PG-13, and I've been saying for years, like, you can't really keep making Predator movies where the Predator's the antagonist, because every movie he gets his ass kicked and he gets just less and less intimidating as movies go by. So it seems pretty logical that eventually we're going to have to make a protagonist Predator movie, which we kind of already did with AVP, which I would kind of tie this with. Like, I don't know which one's
there's
better.
a lot of similarities between this and AVP, I would say.
That being said, I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the music a lot. Now, my perception may be a little influenced because I watched The Predator for the first time right before I went to go see Badlands. I had never seen The Predator, and you could be just to say, I'm just a shill who likes everything. I hated The Predator. It was abysmally bad. I had to keep rewinding it. The editing was choppy, the direction was lousy, and all the comedy was just forced and cringe-inducing. There's some jokes. I mean, there's some humor in this one. It comes off a little bit more natural, even if it didn't land as much. I mean, there were a few moments that did kind of land laugh-wise for me. I did like the idea of taking the Predator and, he's a runt, so you don't need to hire a 7-foot tall guy. Also, no mask, no weapons, really. Just kind of strip him down. I thought this reminded me of a good 90s Dark Horse comic book, Predator comic. Like, if this was a Predator floppy, I would have been totally happy with this. This is cool.
That's what a lot of people have been saying, actually, that this had a really comic book feel to it, and that it would,
Now, there's definitely some obnoxious parts at the beginning, like when we first meet she's a bit much at first. And also the stuff at the end with, like, we have to reference the first Predator movie. So we got to make the whole point of the helmet is like tech, you've got like all kinds of technology in the helmet. The helmet isn't just to protect your face, which is kind of what he does. He makes like a animal skin face mask. He also has like an eel shoulder gun because he's got to have this.
Dumb.
That was extremely
really,
dumb.
really dumb. Really
and then
dumb.
when the eel dies, we're like sad about it. You would think it's like, I mean, I guess I get what they're going with. The idea is the Predator uses these things as tools, but I guess they're not just tools. They're living creatures. I don't know. That was all
some
stupid.
of the tools made sense. Some of them made sense. Like the bomb bugs. I thought that was okay.
That was a bit silly, though. I mean, a bomb bug. If the bug sprayed like acid everywhere, like that would have been more organic. A bomb.
What is like the genetic reasoning for having that? Like to prevent yourself from dying, you explode.
He finds the worm and it gets all inflated, and he throws it. And it's a grenade. It's like, well, that's obviously coming into play later. I mean, it was that was a bit stupid. He hands you a big revolver, and you're like, you did good. He looks freaky. He always looks pissed. That's kind of one of the things I like about Predators. You can't read them emotionally. So that's one of the Predators redesign. I thought it was less egregious than Prey. Prey, I actually liked this a little bit more than Prey. I didn't really care for Prey. And the Predator redesign in Prey, I thought that took way more getting used to than this new one. Deck, whatever. Deck is his name.
Deck.
But like his brother and his dad, they look pretty more traditional. I didn't mind the mocap face because they're talking and stuff, but obviously practical effects usually are better, but not even really practical effects are better. Stan Winston practical effects are better because when you see Predators, he's got his like face locked open and it just doesn't look that good. Same thing with the other ones, the newer ones. I don't know, but C plus, like I said.
I mean, I can't really add much to what you just said, but basically, I think. Bobby, you got something?
No, I was going to say, you mentioned how annoying the android was when she shows up, and then they kind of settle in with that.
Well,
But
they dial it back for sure. I think that was an on purpose
yeah, I mean,
technique.
yeah, because you just see that's the only time that CGI face on deck emotes well is when he wanted to just backhand her, just to shut her down. But like they eventually like peter off with that. Like she's talking nonstop when she's introduced, but then they get you can't forget their third traveling companion.
Apparently, did the
but
stream freeze? People are saying the stream froze.
Uh-oh.
Is YouTube being
Probably
stupid?
YouTube.
I was having
I guess
buffering.
let's just keep going, and then hopefully I'll see what's going on. Oh, we're good now. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Playing for me.
Yeah.
That must have been a
It's playing for
YouTube
me.
thing because we never froze on our end.
No. Yeah, no, I was going to say there's also the third traveling companion, Bud the Chud. She, not he. That's to me where it's like, it just felt like this is like the Disney side of it, where they're trying to inject that little cute creature, and then it just started feeling more and more like a Mando and Grogu type movie. So it was hard for me to get past some of that.
You can see the obvious influence, like the backpacking of an android, being an obvious reference to either C-3PO, or even some sequences you could see Yoda, like something.
Dude.
Like the what?
No, so it reminded me of the movie Knights, which was supposed to be Cyborg 2, directed by Albert Pune, and it's this hot chick carrying the legless cyborg body of Chris Christopherson, and he's like got a sword and stuff. It was, and then when they do wide shots, it's like a midget in a bag with a beard and stuff. It's fantastic. That's what it reminded me of.
Oh, I got a super chat here that's actually specifically for Rags. Rags, would you like to read it, or do you want me to read it?
I would love to read it. I love reading. Hi, Rags. I'm proud of you for being the bigger person and coming on the new podcast. Even after Dark Hour called you a fox and thought you were a fox up until your appearance in the prior show. I think that just goes to show, just highlight my magnanimous nature, really. Yeah. I think if anything, this is just a big W for me all
You're
around.
A generous God.
Rags, was there anything that was just said that you'd like to reboot, like go against? I'm sure that several of the things.
Yeah, a number of things.
Yeah.
I guess I took a mental list. The idea that the helmet is only for technology is something that was, I guess, just made up there, I suppose. Helmets have a number of purposes, and within an honor-based warrior culture, obviously a helmet would be just for it would be for protections. It would be symbolic. It would be symbolic not only in order to instill fear in one's enemies, but it would be a personal mark of honor, which I think is why Deck didn't put on Quay's mask at the end.
That makes sense.
It wasn't his. But yeah, there is obviously the technology angle. I would say as well that I think the prey design is very good as far as the Predator's concerned. The Feral is called in that movie.
Right.
I think Deck's design is really bad in terms of how they tried to put a bit too much humanization into it. With the Deck is unique in the sense that Deck's hairline is a human hairline where you can kind of see it coming down in the middle. Just the way that it does give that expressiveness and its shape. It's clearly made to be more relatable and human-esque. When you look at the others, they're just not meant to be that way. And we have a variety of head shapes. I think the Feral and Prey is probably the biggest deviation from that, which I always thought was fine, because it was still clearly a predator, just a different kind of predator with its head shape. And I always really liked the Prey Predator's design. It
seemed leaner and
a little
slenderer.
bit.
Yeah.
But the way that the mask comes down and it covers, first off, the bone mask I think was really excellent.
Yeah, I like the masks. I don't mind different masks. The masks are always have good variety and stuff.
Well, they're supposed to be like representative of the personality as well.
Yeah, I mean, it fits in perfectly. If you're a trophy hunter, warrior honor culture, then you wearing the mask of something you've killed as like a bone thing is really, I mean, that fits in really intuitively. And also, I think it's the only design where you have the mandibles that are actually shown and can move around while the mask is on, because it doesn't cover the mandible specifically. It kind of does a little like divot into the middle of the face. But yeah, I don't know. I just I don't think that really anything just works in this in this movie in terms of like I said at the beginning. If you're really into Predator, and you want to learn more about them and see more about them, then because I'm curious about that sort of thing. And it's a bit of a difficult, you're kind of playing with fire in a way when you take a creature like, the predators and you make them a protagonist, because you
Yeah.
run the risk of, by learning more, it either demystifies them
Absolutely.
or it kind of like it shows you things that kind of make them way less cool or way less interesting. And I think that's what we got here.
Yeah, they do that with so many characters like Mandalorian, Wolverine, Scorpion. Anytime you have some cool, mysterious background
Yeah.
The
character,
Mandalorians are a good
they
example.
they over-explain them, and it's just like, stop doing that. But Predator, yeah, obviously over-explaining.
I would argue against Wolverine becoming lamer as they explained more. I thought he became cooler as they
His
explained
name
more.
is his name is James Howlett. I mean, and he has a little
That's
bone.
fine.
He was a little sick boy and all this stuff. I don't know. I just
Well, that was in the crappy movie. I'm talking about
Origin, the comics.
Mm.
The Origin comics were a big deal, and I
Yeah,
remember
once they revealed he was Canadian, the mystique really just kind of melted away.
Yeah,
and-
him being as aggressive as he is didn't make any sense anymore once they said he was Canadian. But yeah, I don't. The one thing that you just mentioned, Rags, I'm not sure if they had one in Predators that had that kind of mask, but the mask definitely, I agree with you 100%. The mask is very important, and that was one thing I wish they would have had in this. And obviously, there's several things. I'm very much just right down the middle. Like, I can understand why people like this and why people don't like this. But the one of the biggest issues with Predator, first of all, it's the the point of entry for understanding them with the comics is kind of weird because they've changed it over the years depending on who was running those
Predator and
comics.
Alien canon are tangled webs of misery that are
Yeah,
constantly
it's
shifting and
horrible.
tumultuous.
It's horrible the way if you start at the beginning, by the time you're halfway through, they've changed it. If you try to start in the middle, it doesn't make any sense. It's and I think that's one of the main issues with any of this. Also with Alien Earth as well, trying to add on to an existing, like, horribly tangled, as you said, misery is almost impossible. In fact, they even had a continuity error within this that one of my another YouTuber and a subscriber of mine that I talk to pretty often, wrote on Life. He pointed out, I didn't even notice that they mentioned that this is supposed to take place after Alien Resurrection.
Takes place
There's a
after
huge
everything.
Yeah.
is what
yeah, and there's a
Trachtenberg
huge
said.
problem with that with Weyland Yutani is that they don't exist anymore.
Right.
So, whenever
They
you
gotta
try to
bail
add
out.
something to to any kind of expanded lore, you end up with this situation where now you have to check all everything basically, and that was one of that's always been the problem with any extended kind of lore.
Would we think that this is? I think this is better than Alien Earth, right?
Oh, there he is, by the way.
Yes.
I hated
would say
Alien
that
Earth.
this
It
is
was way
better
too
than-
long, and it bastardized the xenomorph way more. And the ending is just like you realize there's no point to even watch it.
Yeah, Alien Earth's an abomination.
It's
This is
so
just a bad
awful.
film.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Yeah, okay. Glad we're on the
Yeah,
same page.
I would say I would say if you had to rank these two, you're putting Alien Earth way distant
Way
second.
below.
Yeah, way distant second.
Well, am I
so-
inaccurate saying like this is kind of closer to AVP 1?
I kind of felt it was in that realm, that
The
range.
middle of the road.
Yeah.
How
I
many
don't know.
Predator movies are there now? 9, counting
Let's see.
the
Well, there's
AVP
obviously
movies?
Predator, Predator 2, Predators, Prey, The Predator, this one, Killer of Killers, and then if you add the 2 AVP movies, is that 10 total? I think.
God dang, that's
I think it's 9.
It's terrible.
Maybe it's 9. Yeah, it might be 9. But I mean, I would put this in like like I said earlier. There's a lot of things that you can compare in this to AVP.
Yeah, you know what we could do? We could make a prequel about El Scorpio, how he actually fought a predator when he was a young man in Nicaragua or whatever,
Yeah.
Turns out he knew what a predator was all along. That's kind of more what we're
That dude
used to
appears in
these
so
days.
many movies, by the way. He's like in Last Action Hero as a driver. He was just one of those guys they put in everything.
Stuntman. The stunt guy with long hair. That's who he was.
So I'm not even sure. Like, it's weird because this one is generally when you have a situation like this. So the critic score and the audience score are both decent. Usually it's like one or the other. And then you kind of know it's going to be bad because they're not agreeing. But it's usually when you have both being on the positive end, it usually is pretty indicative of better. And I don't know. I just feel like, What do you guys think about like is this just captive, like people being like, oh,
Mm,
this isn't the worst thing I've ever seen, so it's got to be good kind
I
of
think
thing?
it's more like Rag said, like it's really like if you're a huge Predator lore fan, you're hating this. But I think that's what we're realizing is like, are there, I guess, Predator
Some people
experts?
just want to see them more, and that's it. I don't
Right.
think I think a lot of people, it's kind of like the Mandalorians thing, which is a kind of a good example to bring up. The Mandalorian show takes a steaming dump on the Mandalorians as a culture and as a
Yeah.
group. They're a
Yeah.
bunch of morons who are completely incompetent. Like what a bunch of losers. So that must have been, but then again, a lot of people love it just because, oh, I just get to see more of them. And that's it.
Yeah.
All it takes is for me to just see more of them, and it doesn't matter the decisions they make or the things they say or the lost opportunity of what we could have learned about them and how they resolve conflicts and da da da.
This movie makes me realize like Predator are kind of more like tribal Klingons now at this point, you know, like the way they operate. It's
Well,
weird.
that was the one awesome thing about Predators, in my opinion, was that we got to see two different like warring tribes,
Right.
and that set up. Now here, this tribe, uh, first of all, I don't even know how it's possible how you could have like an isolated tribe on your home planet, but nobody gives a shit. It was the planet itself was very underwhelming. Might I add, the Yautja Prime was
Yeah, I
very
heard a lot of
underwhelming.
discourse about like what Yacha Prime is supposed to look like, and that was all fascinating. I do like how these movies nowadays are kind of, or at least this year, these nerd lore movies are. We're getting in a lot more nuanced discussion about just the nerd aspect and not just like how awful the movie was anymore. Because yeah, I had some people, you know, I was listening to some people. One of them liked it, one of them didn't like it, and they were mostly just talking about the Predator homeworld and the way the dialect, the way the translator tech works and stuff. You know, all that fun nerd stuff.
The translator doesn't make sense, but
No, I know.
I think
I,
that Yacha Prime is a fucking stupid name to name it. How what a
yeah,
loser to call it that. You have all this. You finally get to name. You finally have this control of the franchise, and you can name the Predator homeworld finally, and you call it Yacha Prime. It's like calling Earth Human Prime.
I
You
feel like
fucking
That's
loser.
actually exactly what when I was writing my, I ended up not writing a script for this because I just didn't have enough material. But one of the opening jokes was that I was going to be happy I was watching it from Human Prime. That's
yeah.
That's like that's the opening of a review that we're putting out. We talk about how I'm a human from Human Prime. It's like
Yeah,
that's the
like
best you can do. Like,
like like Road Life says, like I feel like I heard the word Yacha for the first time like this or last year, and like everyone's like I don't know how
dude, it's been
how
around since the 90s. It was like
okay.
it appeared in like a book or a comic, but like I don't think it's
Yeah,
been in the movie. I don't think it's
no,
been
it's never
said
been in the it's
in the
never been said
movies,
in
and they used every opportunity they could in this movie to say it. And I
Right.
personally, I can't think of a stupider name for I mean, we get it out of the way in the beginning, and then we just refer to it as the Predator for the rest of the film. I mean, for the rest of the review. But
That's what we
it's
would
just
call this
weird. It's
planet.
It is funny.
you know,
It is funny that everybody came up with the exact same joke about Human Prime.
yeah, it's what it is though. And then like I don't mind, like if you're gonna do a one-off where you're gonna use the Predator as a protagonist instead of an antagonist, like I hope they don't continue down this route with it.
Same.
But like, they own the Alien franchise now too, so it's coming. They're gonna do an Alien film where we get the point of view of an alien as a protagonist, and I'm just
See, I think that works less. I think when you come up with AVP, it's obvious that the Predator is going to be the
sure,
anti-hero.
yeah,
Because xenomorphs are. You can read like predators are kind of like vampires. Where like with a vampire, all you gotta do is just don't invite it in your home. You're
right.
safe. A predator, just get naked and drop your weapons and sit down Indian style and just wave at the predator and be like, I mean you no harm.
I hope there aren't
Yeah.
14 Yautja in this forest who would take advantage of me.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wouldn't put it past them to try at some point.
No, and I would hate to see Deck be the face of Predators from now on. He comes back in multiple movies. I don't want to see that. If this is
They're
a
definitely going to do it. They're
standalone
definitely going to try a
movie,
sequel, though.
He's
They're definitely gonna try a
basically
sequel.
he's
can't
not
help
a
themselves.
he's not a predator at the end. He's
Yeah.
he's a protector. So
I
they're
just
gonna-
would like to see him encounter another predator down the line and get like decapitated in front of Thea and the horrified Callisk.
his new clan. Yeah.
It's like you were still
The,
a runt, dude. You were still a little guy. I mean,
I just had something. I just lost it. But yeah, they're definitely going to do a sequel because they left. If this makes money, I should say, if this goes into the positive, the way it left off, they are sequel baiting automatically, that was fucking stupid. I was like, oh no, it's my mother. Like, that was, I don't agree with the whole daddy issues joke that was going around completely, but that mother line at the end was pretty fucking stupid.
Now, is it true that predator females are bigger and scarier and more fucked
In
up than
some continuities, yes.
Originally in the games, they were slimmer and faster. They were
Okay.
smaller, but they were more agile.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it depends on which
lioness,
continuity.
like a lioness style?
Sure.
Yeah, but then in the comics, they eventually made them the bigger ones. I think that was directly influenced from Aliens, though.
I heard someone say that when you think about it, predator or the equivalent on humans are like those rich dentists that go big safari hunting, big game hunting. That's basically what we're realizing a predator is just like some kind of sport game hunter. Because like I said, that's all you got to do really is just they have honor. In the first Predator movie, they don't attack the unarmed woman. They aren't evil. They aren't monsters.
They generally, several instances of that in the second movie when he finds the one woman's pregnant. Obviously, he just lets like that's directly from deer hunters. You don't.
And
hunt
she
those.
was armed.
Yeah,
she was armed. Yeah,
and then they did a similar thing in AVP when the whichever Wayland it was that started the expedition. He had a heart condition or a lung condition or something.
Lance Henriksen, right?
Yeah, Lance Henriksen, but I don't remember which Wayland family member he was. But he had like a heart condition, and when they saw, and then he attacked him, and then it became okay. Well, now I'm gonna fuck you up. Like now you went too far. I was gonna let you live, but the
AVP I have fond memories of because I saw Collateral in the theaters, and then as I got out of Collateral, I realized AVP was like starting right across the hall in like 10 minutes, and I just walked in and did a bang bang. And I remember it was like the point when the Queen's running around Antarctica. I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't pay for this, but this is fun. This is this is a fun movie. It was worth seeing just for the Queen running around in the Antarctic, which was so stupid, but.
If you were gonna, so here, actually, I think starting with Rags here, I think this might be a great question for you. If you were gonna try to fix this, obviously, and don't just say get rid of the whole movie because that's the easy way out. Like if you were gonna change a few things to try and make this a more usable plot and like a more usable, like a better movie, what would you do?
Wayland Yutani doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, that
start.
yeah.
We take out that component entirely. We batted around a lot of ideas on our EFAP on this on Saturday. There's a lot of things that you can do to tweak it and make it work because the core idea I'm fine with. The idea that you have a protagonist who is a predator, who's for whatever reason, maybe he's just smaller, less capable physically, or there is some sort of honor-based reason why he's not treated the same as the others and he wants to get his place in the clan and do, predator stuff. I'm fine with that being a reason why he goes to take a very dangerous hunt on a foreign planet to get a special kind of trophy that will, show that he's capable. I'm fine with that idea. And I'm also potentially fine with the idea of him encountering someone who's very different from him, like a human-esque character who... a lot of the times when we have stories about humans, which happens a lot. Humans are in a lot of our stories, it seems. It's often about like teamwork. It's about coming together, putting aside differences, uniting as a group to overcome greater things. Whereas the predator culture seems to be, at least as far as this clan is concerned, much more about you need to be able to survive on your own, do everything on your own. Strength comes from individuals, not from groups. So when you have those two different outlooks on life and what success it has brought, and you have two characters who can maybe potentially discuss it or talk about it, even though I would probably prefer the Predator have very little dialogue or speak in a foreign tongue that we don't understand. And we just have to go by maybe some facial expressions or gesticulations and things of that nature. Like, I'd be okay with that. There's ways to do that idea where you can have a clash of concepts. but I'd almost warn against that because it's so difficult to probably execute, and it might demystify or make too relatable the predator that it would just be not a good idea at all. One idea that we had was to have the predator be injured in some way that meant that he wasn't able to operate at full capacity. He had like an arm in a sling or something like that, and he's like actually hurt. He was busted up, and the character that he was with might have been physically weak or like human, but they would both have to use maybe the opposite half of the skills they're not known for in order to cooperate, or you just have a simple story where he has to be very, very clever. I mean, Deck's a little guy as relative to predators. He's used to being overpowered because he's just not as big as all the other ones are. And so, in order to compensate, he's very clever and he's very like observant, and he plans things out. And he's very intelligent, things that we don't see the character in this film doing. But it would be neat if we saw that side of the predators. They're not just these brutish 1v1 hunters. They are, they are tenacious. They do plan ahead. They are sneaky. They are tactical. And if he sort of embodied that idea that even a little predator, even a relatively small predator is still a very dangerous opponent because of their capacity to think. I mean, this is a spacefaring civilization, right? They're very intelligent as a species, but we just kind of get like Unga Bunga and plot armor in this that just sort of sees them through to the end, which is very disappointing.
They actually, it's funny because that you mentioned that, because I actually kind of thought that was the route they were going to go. Because one of the lines early on when he's talking to his brother is his brother tells him not to fight like their father, and I thought that was the route they were going to go, and they ended up. The only thing that you would even argue is kind of intelligent is using the animals and stuff that he found along the way, but they did feel very much like, well, we're going to move from this to here to here to here, and he's everything that he encounters becomes a situation that, okay, well, you'll need something like this eventually, and I 100% agree with you that there is a lot of potential here. First of all, the thing that I would do is I don't mind him having a cat, like, whether it doesn't have to be a human. It could have been an android or even a local, like some sort of local animal. I think that the fact that there was both of them was really where they kind of
It was two
it
bad
it was
characters paired together, and they are
yeah,
not better.
it
They're
was
not
too
bigger than the sums
much.
of their parts.
Yeah.
He was kind of a moron loser with nothing interesting to say, and she was just super annoying. And when you pair them together, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, well, I was also saying about the Bud or whatever the fuck it was called. Like I could have dealt with
Make him
one
like
or the other.
make Bud, if you want to have a character like that, you can. It needs to be some kind of a steed or a wolf companion, like a hunting dog kind of thing. I don't know why they didn't do that. Like the idea that the predators have like a hunting animal that they bring with them seems like it would be pretty intuitive.
They did that in
So
that stupid Predators movie, but yeah, the Predator dogs. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
I know what you mean.
that's an
Well, even
execution issue.
Yeah,
in Predators, they had the what was it? They had the one that had animals that was like almost like a falcon kind of thing
Beastmaster
that he
kind
could,
of. Yeah,
yeah,
you could do something
Beastmaster
with
sort of thing.
that. If you need to get your creature critter in there for people to like, people really like dogs. Give him a space dog that he hunts with.
yeah.
Boom, you're done.
Well, it could have
Just make
even
like
been
crazy, scary, like a big space dog hunting dog thing.
they could have even played off of the fact that it was also kind of a runt of a litter that was not part of something. They could have played off of that. But yeah, I would have probably dropped the android. Toward the end, I felt the android stuff had just taken over the movie, and there was a section when he was captured. He was kind of on that table, and that's where it all slowed down for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long of a movie. It was, what was it, like an hour 47 or something like that. That's a short movie by now standards, especially. And it just went, it felt like it was moving, progressing, whether or not you're interested in the story that's one way or the other, but it never felt like it stopped. And then it just hit this wall right there. And I felt like that was the turning point where it all became really dumb. Because first of all, I couldn't stand the Tessa character either. I was like, it just felt so
They both
forced.
sucked. Yeah.
I almost felt like it would have been better if it was the same character. Like, this is something I would have done. uh, Tessa and Thea. Like, she thinks that there's a second one, but it's really the same android that's just two opposite sides of it. And as they're progressing, somewhere at halfway through, it kind of like, if you're gonna stick with the Wayland Yutani thing, uh, it gets switched over to, mission mode. It's kind of the
Yeah,
thing I
like
always
the Iron Giant. Yeah, when he just
yeah,
turns
yeah,
into
kind of like
mission
that,
mode.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that could have worked a lot better with a as a antagonist slash pseudo secondary protagonist as well. I don't know. How about you, Bobby? Is there something you would have changed?
Um, I kind of wish like his brother had gone with him, and then we kind of got two very different types of predators
Yeah.
in that one environment, and then you see how they both approach it, and then perhaps his brother's way is not the right way or something, and he does have something to offer, even though he's like kind of like this runt predator. I would have rather much seen two predators playing off of each other, since they don't hunt together really; they hunt alone,
It's great.
and now they're kind of forced to work together.
It's just training. I am the older brother. I must teach my younger brother how to be a proper yachtja. So we're
Right.
gonna go on this planet, and we're gonna go. Oh no, I've been injured. You have
And
to
you-
take
you
over
could
for
s-
yourself. And
You can
such
still
and
have the
such.
father conflict, where he
Sure.
wants Deck dead, and yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that actually doesn't have to change. They could have just both gone.
Right.
I probably would have enjoyed that, having his brother with him more than Thea. But I do like your idea, Dark Hour, of maybe that you just have the one synth and then it's just the two sides, like she turns it on and off. It would have been more interesting to see that in one character as opposed to two separate.
And even I even think it would be a cool concept if the synth didn't even realize that it had two sides. It's oh, I'm trying to get to my, because they even say it like, oh, we're two sides, we're two sides of the same coin. And she's
Right.
the one that goes out into the field, and I'm the one who stays back into. And it was like written right there. It was
Maybe
in
it's
the
the
writing.
lower half only that goes rogue and
The lower-
starts.
That's the warrior half.
Yeah.
The comedic
I was
relief
actually-
legs.
I was actually very sad to find out that because Ellie Fanning got that dump truck ass. I didn't notice it until Tessa was like walking out of the laboratory. I was like, good God, she's got a fucking cake on her for a little white girl. And then we see like scenes of Thea's legs walking around by themselves. Like those, I was very upset to find out that was not Ellie Fanning's ass. It was a stunt woman. Which is like, hey, missed opportunity, man. Missed opportunity. We just
Why
glorious
did you need
shots.
a stunt woman for that specific? That seems.
It's because her upper half is interacting with the bottom half, so the bottom half is like a woman with a green top.
Okay, I gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, more gratuitous shots of her ass, that would have been cool. Like walking, when her legs are doing that ridiculous sci-fi crap. I get the idea of why we paired her with an android, for instance, instead of like a human or an organic creature. The synths have this kind of superpower. She was obnoxious
from it, really.
Yeah,
I
she
think
is.
that having a person who's like vulnerable.
Another
at least
predator is a great idea.
Another predator would have been good. Yeah,
Right.
Him and another predator.
Because I
have
wouldn't
to
want
do
him
that.
paired with a human. No, fuck that. They did that with AVP, and that was silly. But I
Well,
would
that's
have liked.
execution.
I would
That's
have
not
liked.
concept.
Yeah, I would have liked more humans in the movie so that they could have been brutally murdered. And obviously, we prefer an R rating, and obviously, we prefer more. I guess like the traditional Predator movie, which is like a movie for guys who like movies, like macho men. It's just a cool movie. But I understand them doing the general audience's shtick. But yeah, a little less kid friendly, a little harder on the edges. The idea of another Predator is great. Definitely tone down the references to the Predator in the first movie at the end. Just have him do his own thing. I mean, I liked his little laser repel thing. Like that was some new tech, or at least new to me. It doesn't always have to be claw shoulder mount. Maybe obviously when they're talking about real predators, but like the idea that he's on the woods, stripped down, or the idea of two predators. Yeah, one of them injured maybe. Like all that stuff was cool. Like as far as other big changes, just trying to keep it as close to it as possible without major changes. Like the smaller stuff I could think of that would work would be the animal, less of him being a big deal. The buddy, I mean, I would have liked to see the predator kill the big Kalisk at the end, like he gets his trophy. That would have been a simple, easy thing to do. And also, I don't like how we kind of feel sorry for the Kalisk at the end. Like, oh, they're just innocent creatures. It's like, that thing was a dick. and that thing seemed pretty like an existential threat to the planet. Like, if it's that powerful, I don't know how much they propagate or what, but why isn't the planet just littered with those things? Like, why is there just this one Kalisk? It seemed like maybe
I
we find out more about what the hell it is. Maybe it's a one of a kind lab abomination that was set free on this planet, and I don't know. The
I did
Kalisk
like
defied all scientific reasoning.
I did like the concept of like space Australia. Everything on the planet's trying to kill you. I thought that was like decent. But yeah, you're correct. It doesn't really make sense that there's only one of them. Like, do they spawn asexually?
It's
Like,
like a
I guess
phoenix, like a new
yeah.
one rises from the ashes or something. I don't know.
I had something in there I was gonna say and I totally lost. It was one of your like middle points, and then I just completely lost what I was gonna say. But the
Wow.
yeah, there was a lot more to be desired there. I did have a hold on, one of our so we had Brawler here. So I'm really enjoying it. Welcome to Derry. You guys watching? I actually am. Is anybody else watching it besides me?
No.
I'm
Rags, have
2
you watched?
episodes in.
I don't know anything about anything.
All right, we'll just touch on it real quick because Brawler's a friend of ours. Bob, you want to say since you only
Well, I'm 1 episode behind, but you know, the first episode, I actually liked it. I thought there was a lot to like about it. I mean, of course, there's like, I don't know how much either of you know about the show, but there's this giant CGI demon baby flying around in the beginning and the end, and it just takes you out of it so hard because you're thrown back into this 1950s like very richly detailed practical world, and it's fun for that aspect of it, but it kind of retreads a lot of stuff that goes on in the book and in the old movies. And then they kind of do some crazy shit at the end of the first episode, and then you kind of shift gears going into the second episode, and it's not bad, but there's nothing really keeping me interested except a few like minor subplots, but I don't know, it wasn't enough for me to go back to episode 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue. So I watched up to I'm officially through episode 3, and I'm not really sure. First of all, it has a very Stranger Things feel to it. There's a like they have the group of kids doing, but it's not the way it was. There was some of the supernatural, but it was still they didn't go into like alternate dimensions and stuff. This almost feels like they're basically going into an alternate dimension because they keep getting pulled into the like deeper and deeper into the situation, and now the adults are also getting pulled into these mental things. They have like a guy who is a psychic of some kind who can
It's
find.
Dick
Go ahead.
Halloran from The
Yeah.
Shining. Yeah.
Oh, that's who that's.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
the character. Yeah, it's from The Shining.
Oh,
That's his
Crothers.
Yeah, right. That's his power, the shine. So they're just
okay.
they're just bringing like a whole bunch of different Stephen King like characters and references into it.
I do think that it could eventually become pretty good at the end. They still have made very little sense out of the fact that they decided to slaughter a bunch of kids in the first episode, and it's yeah. I'm probably not gonna. I'm probably just gonna wait till it's over and then watch all of it at once.
I haven't seen it, but I saw I hated it, the new one, and I don't really care for the other one, the VHS one. It's better, but the second version, the second half is always, it drops off big time. But the newest It movie was horrific. I hated it. There's like so many great moments where it's like this less is more. Like if you just stopped while you're ahead, like there's some creepiness happening, then just stop. Like there's the projector showing creepy clown stuff, and you're like, this is scary. And then the projector should just turn off. But instead, the projector falls over and a giant clown crawls out of the wall and starts like reaching for it's just silly. I don't like it. It's not scary. But I did see a clip from this show where it was like some kind of food monster attacking a girl, and I thought it looked really good. It seemed like it was a.
Oh, I know
monster.
what scene you're talking about.
It seemed like it was almost like AI influenced. Like if you watch the Void Stomper videos or Dream Weaver guy, like these dudes make grotesque like horror images with the AI stuff, and it's
so. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's basically it. It just seemed
Uh,
like someone like that made it. It had this
So I'll sum
realness
it
to
up
it.
for you. So the one girl, they've only sort of touched on it up to this point. Her father died in a factory accident, and he worked at a pickle factory. It's like the
That's what it was.
weird.
It was a pickle
Oh my
monster.
Yeah,
god, he was pickled.
yeah, he was pickled,
He was
and
pickled.
that was in episode 3. Is the scene that you saw? She's goes to the supermarket. She's walking around, and she's trying to she's trying to find all the groceries, and then slowly it does the thing where it's every time she walks past somebody, they do like the head snap and all that stuff, and it's clearly she's no longer on Earth or
Right.
whatever you want to call it, and all the shelves like trap her in, and then eventually she's trapped in the aisle with pickles, and then the pickles all started turning into her father. It's one of the like dumbest things I've
It
ever seen.
looked really cool. It looked like it was. I know it's not practical with the way it's moving, but it looks practical, which makes me think it was like some of those like that Void Stomper style AI video kind of tech, because it has this. It looks like it's on camera. It doesn't have that digital sheen to it.
Goodwin just pointed it out really well. I can't highlight it yet. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is also it has a very Freddy Krueger-esque feel a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's almost like dream sequences, and it feels very off. The whole thing
Yeah.
just feels off.
Correct
It's not
me.
terrible, but
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the older, like, the last two movies and the older ones, he's in the sewers, so he's always talking to these kids through like drain pipes, and he comes out of drains and attacks them. But in this new show, it just seems like he just comes out of nowhere, because these kids are, like you said, like they're it's like nighttime, they're sleeping or something like that. It's like Freddy Krueger, where like all of a sudden, like all this random stuff starts happening, and you feel like at any moment he could kill them, and it's like, well, where is he coming from? Is he just like he's just everywhere now?
and
So I
they
guess you could
almost don't even have that. So at least with Freddy Krueger in a lot of those movies, there was the kind of you understood what was happening. Like they were falling asleep. You kind of started to see that. You knew that they were tired, whatever they were doing. This it's very random, and
I would say that in that it does kind of match Nightmare on Elm Street in that regard, because there's very, very little of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise that kind of does its premise justice. You have like Dream Warriors and a couple other things, and that's basically it.
Mhm.
Most of the Elm Street movies, they're just bad.
Right.
They don't do the premise justice. The movies themselves aren't good. Um, so
Well, I was just
Whereas-
mostly saying that at least you had the catalyst for as to why this happened, whereas with this, it's just all of a sudden, I'm in a what was it? I think was it episode 2 where she like experiences her being a baby again, like in the womb, like that was that in the second
that was in the
episode?
second episode. Yeah, it's when she's
Yeah.
in bed. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Well,
like pulls the like a sheet over her head, and all of a sudden she's in amniotic fluid and hears like heartbeats and stuff because apparently her mother died in childbirth. But there's nothing that at least with Freddy Krueger there's a
Well,
stimulus which allows him to do this. Here it just happens randomly. At certain points they say that he's confined, like Pennywise is confined to certain areas, but then he just goes everywhere. So it's very strange.
it seems like it's your typical mystery box string pulling writing, where they'll probably reveal the whys later and it won't be satisfactory or whatever. I mean, with it, these shows, that's the thing is HBO, they kind of screwed up Salem's Lot pretty badly, and also what was it, The Watchmen? That was horrendous. And this one seemed like it had a lot of like racial pandering, and I'm just not really, I wasn't really interested in it. If the whole
I
show's
agree.
said and done and people are saying it's good after the whole show's over, then maybe I'll check it out.
I agree with Amelia on this. Like this show definitely feels like I have to do a lot of deductive reasoning of my own to figure out what the hell is even going on, and I don't mind that always, but in this instance, I'm like I'm not invested enough in it. I guess maybe if you're really invested in the the series, the franchise, the IP, you might be more willing to do that kind of stuff. But the actual the Pennywise clown has barely appeared.
Isn't
And
Pennywise like a LGBT icon now, along with the Babadook and now
I have no
Gladys
idea.
from Weapons? Like,
I
they
mean,
keep
maybe.
latching on to these horror characters and be like, "Yo, yes, represent." And I'm like, I think
Be
pick
weird.
better. Yeah, apparently, people, the LGBT community have shipped Pennywise and the Babadook together. Like they are.
Well, that's intuitive.
No, yeah, it's not. This is not official canon or anything, but this is apparently what's going on in
Just
forums.
look at
and
it like
chats
that's
and
our
pages.
boy right
Yeah.
there. That's our boy.
And yeah, apparently Gladys, what's her name? Madigan from Field of Dreams. She plays Gladys in Weapons, and she made a big thing about how honored she is that LGBT people are loving Gladys and relating to Gladys. And I'm like I see surface level
Bit of
what
a
they're
red
talking
flag,
about, but
alright.
yeah, it's a little morbid, really.
Ugly psycho killer. I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
you do you. I
Yeah,
suppose.
you do you, exactly. It's a little bit
Um,
strange. But
yeah, I don't-
Pennywise, I don't know. He Stephen King, I mean, they're never going to do the faithful Stephen King it adaptation, thank God. I remember hearing someone to do explain like in the lore why the sewer child orgy happens and like justifying like the reasoning behind it, and it just made it sound worse. It was just like, whoa.
Yeah,
He is on so
whenever
much
you're trying to
cocaine.
justify something like that, it's never going to go well for you.
The reasoning behind it was something to do with the fact that the little girl was abused by her father, and it was really the only way she knew how to mature and get older. And the other little kid, it was like paragraphs of shit. And I was just like, good God, this is not helping your cause.
Orgy is love, bro. Speaking of things that, so obviously this is a prequel that no one really ever asked for a movie that, well, a prequel for that no one asked for a remake that no one really asked for. But there's been a few, and I'll let you guys kind of choose because there's been a few things that have been announced recently. Bobby, were you the one who said, like, definitely we got to talk about Gremlins 3? Or was
Maybe?
that Matt?
Or
I remember somebody texted it.
I said, yeah, well, Gremlins and
It was-
Mummy were the
There was
two.
Gremlins 3.
Oh,
There's a Mummy sequel that's not connected to the Tom Cruise
Right.
abomination crap.
an
It'll be
actual
fat
Dark
Brendan
universe?
Fraser.
Yeah, fine.
yeah.
What was that, Rags?
I think they only got 2 movies into the Dark Universe before they gave up. It was that and Dracula Untold, I think. Which, by the way, I would definitely recommend Dracula Untold. That movie is very entertaining.
I
Charles
remember
Dance?
a little while ago, I like maybe 2 weeks ago or so, I read someone was like, "Oh, they're planning a Dracula Untold too," and I was like, "Wouldn't that just be
Yes.
Dracula told at this point? Retold?" I think, and also wasn't that Invisible Man, wasn't that in the Dark Universe as well?
I don't.
It was
I don't
supposed to
know.
be, but then they pivoted to this new style, which was like similar to the Wolfman, the Bloomhouse style. But yeah, Invisible Man
Okay.
was
That
more of
alright.
that.
That movie was all right.
It was all right. I loved the suit. I liked how he turned invisible. That was cool. I just,
Well,
the idea that you have an invisibility suit and all you're going to do is torment your average, below
your
average ex-wife. Like,
It's like a Black Mirror episode. Doing
Yeah,
it that way.
yeah, it was kind of like Handmaiden's Tale, which also has Elizabeth Moss, where it's this like oppression Olympics, this oppression fantasy where the male fantasy, the male power fantasy is that we're strong and powerful and save the day and kill bad guys and get the chick. The female power fantasy seems to be like you're a girl boss and you're below average, but men still like pine over you and obsess over you for some reason.
It's the simp era.
Handmaiden's Tale has that, and I was very upset this Halloween because I was like, I'm gonna be Handmaid's Tale. I'll go to
We
Party
talked
City.
about this. Yeah.
I will go to Spirit Halloween and get one of those costumes because clearly they carry those. They do not carry them anymore. They've renounced Handmaid's Tale robes, which I thought was
They're
bit of
just
a
sold
bummer.
out. They got sold out during every election. That's the problem. It's just
Someone's buying them. Someone's making them somehow for these protests. I thought it would have been a good like year-round costume to have, you know?
the third one that was announced was a Call of Duty movie. So you guys could pick whichever one you want to talk about, and we'll just go from there. So or if the audience has a particular one, I think that I would like to talk about the revival of the Mummy, though. I think that that's a cool thing that they're bringing that back. I don't know if anybody agrees with me on that.
I think the Mummy movies are okay. The first one's pretty good. All right, you forget that it's written by what's his name, Kurtzman, right? Isn't Kurtzman the writer of the Mummy? And I think whenever you find out who wrote it, I think it is Kurtzman. You're like, oh, that makes sense. It does have that kind of vibe, doesn't it? The first Mummy's clearly better than the other ones, but
The first
uh,
movie's great. Yeah.
it's fun. It was a fun 1999, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
It was a great
99,
year.
I think. Yeah.
Great year in cinema history, where like the worst movies of that year are Dick and Mystery Men. These are all pretty good movies still. The worst movies of 99 were still pretty decent.
They're not they're not remaking it. They're actually
Sequel.
ignoring the other crap.
A
like
requel.
they're
not gonna.
redoing it.
So does that mean that the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor is or isn't canon?
So I think it's it's like decanonized because they're
yeah,
bringing
we
back
just-
Rachel Weisz.
I never saw
however you
that
pronounce
one.
it.
With Jet Li, the Jet Li one. If
But
I saw it,
didn't
I don't
they-
remember it.
They recast her
very
in the
bad.
third one, right?
Yeah, with someone who looked absolutely nothing like her.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who
Oh.
it was.
They did?
Yeah, I don't even
yeah.
remember which actress it was. Hold on, I'll look it up.
It's like Maria Bello or something. It's like,
Weird.
Dragon Emperor.
Now
Let's
wait,
see.
there's Mummy 2, which has the famous Scorpion King
Return of the
CG,
Mummy.
Yeah,
right?
Maria Bello. Yeah, that was the
Mummy
That
Returns,
was her.
But
yeah.
but then there's a Scorpion King
spin-off.
movie. Yes, okay.
Well,
all
just to be
right.
clear, there are 5 Scorpion King movies.
What?
It's like Dragonheart, man. That series has got legs.
Dragonheart.
Apparently
yeah,
8
I
of
know what
them.
you mean. That's insane to hear about.
I remember the second Scorpion King movie had Randy Couture in it. I remember
Right.
that.
I was like, it's
Yeah.
clearly it's not The Rock anymore, right? Who's
Well, they didn't. He wasn't playing the Scorpion King. He was playing somebody else. But I didn't realize that they got up to 5. Holy shit!
was The Rock in all of them playing the Scorpion King?
No,
Surely
definitely
no.
not.
I bet he was in like the first, and then we got ourselves a new Scorpion King. The legend continues, or something.
King Harder.
King Harder.
Uh,
Oh my goodness.
But yeah,
Scorpion King 6.
my thought is that they're definitely going to be ignoring pretty much everything except the first 2 movies with that one, because if they're bringing back Rachel Weisz,
This makes me want to watch the third one even more now. It's like getting
It's very
decanonized.
entertaining. It's terrible,
right.
but it's.
I love
very
terrible shit.
entertaining.
I love that terrible shit, man. I got a tolerance for it. I'm like, give me more. I took Rockula. No problem. Let's do it.
and then yeah, I guess Gremlins 3, another extremely delayed sequel that's been
Is it
talked
actually
about.
happening? I've heard it's been
That's-
happening for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, supposedly it's happening. So
I'll believe it when I see it.
I think I had an article here. Hold on. Yeah.
You think they're going to bring back Zach Galligan and Phoebe Cates?
Of course, it's always about the member berries, even though they shouldn't. The original premise I heard about Gremlins 3 was like Gremlins on a plane.
I'd watch that.
Got snakes instead.
It was going to be like a big, like brand new, like city bus plane, with like a upstairs and there's a bunch of gremlins break out. That would be cool.
I've never been on one of those big old planes that have like.
So supposedly they
Nah, me
have like
neither.
an attached date and everything.
So who's
They have
making it?
November 19th of 2027.
Well, I think Chris
Warner
Columbus
Brothers, assuming
is
they don't get
directing it. I think he's writing it and directing it with the guys that did
well, he's writing it.
Final
He wrote
Destination.
it.
Is Joe Dante
Oh,
involved?
great! The Final Destination writer is awesome.
No.
Optimistic.
I
would-
don't think so.
You can't make Gremlins 3 without Dick Miller, man. I'm sorry. He's dead.
Yeah.
The time has passed. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Hey, man, sorry.
I hope it's not a Christmas movie. I hope it's not. But Chris Columbus loves making Christmas movies. So if they make it a Christmas movie again, that would be lame. Do something different. The second one's so wildly different from the first one. So let's keep going in that direction. Gremlins on a plane, I think, is fun. Like a little something contained, short, takes place in the course of an evening. Well. Anyway, it's your show now, Bobby.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love Gremlins 2. I think it's
I do too.
underrated masterpiece.
It's amazing.
Oh, he's back.
You're muted
Yeah,
now.
We can't hear him.
Something happened.
Uh-oh.
You know what I did check out that was decent was Pluribus. The first 2 episodes. I don't really like TV shows very much, but it has me invested. I probably won't watch it every week. Can you hear you, Dark Hour? Nope.
Nope.
But yeah, Pluribus was neat. I'm probably gonna wait until it's all over and binge it. But it seems like a cool take on Body Snatchers. And what else? Oh, I watched All's Fair, which is the worst. It's so hilariously terrible. Because I know we love to talk about movies and shows that are objectively bad, and it's fun to goof on this. Yes, we can
hear you now.
That was weird.
Anyway.
Sorry, what did I miss in my own stream?
You got louder.
Oh, I got louder? Oh, got to fix it again.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There we go.
That better?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened there. Everything is shit, Emperor Goodwin. They're all shit. All of the programs are terrible. All of them do one thing good, and the rest of them suck. What is it? StreamYard is ease of entry, but it has almost no functions. It's like you could stream, and that's about it.
They've been working on it, actually. Every time I open StreamYard, there's new features they've unloaded, which I don't know if they work, but they're trying. They're trying to justify that double price rate hike that happened earlier this year.
So I don't even remember where we left off before I got kicked out.
Gremlins.
What were we? Oh, Gremlins. Yeah.
And Mummy.
Yeah, it's honestly, it just speaks to the growing problem of everything that's coming out in the next 2 years or so, 3 years. There's no original IPs. They're dusting off every single IP.
They'll run out soon. You think they're going to start running out? Like Disney's got this problem where they're almost catching up to themselves, and they don't have enough new stuff that's sticking.
Yeah, and they have to redo. They have to remake their newer movies now because they were, obviously they were doing the live action because it's CG still for things like Lion King and all that stuff, and now they did Moana, which isn't even that old. It's like how eventually you just get to a point where let's maybe we should just stop even making things. Just re-release the old stuff.
Yeah, there was a case for it, especially during the quarantine years, where it's like, let's just stop making movies for 5 years. It's crazy how Avengers Endgame was very symbolic of the end of movies. Kind of. I mean, the best movies from this year and last year were all little indie flicks no one heard of. The best thing I watched last year was a 40-minute anime called Look Back. I had no idea anything about it. Blew me away.
Like this.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I think my timing's a little off ever since I came back in. The best movie I saw this year, in my opinion, was probably Smashing Machine, which isn't saying much.
I liked The Surfer a lot this year. I just watched Begonia. That was fucking cool. It was fun. It was
I don't even know
twisted.
What that is.
That was the one.
Is that the one with Emma Stone
gets kidnapped? Okay. Yeah. It was cool. It was a remake of Save the Green Planet, but it was good. It was Yorgos's most accessible, less batshit insane movie he's made. So that was fun. And then what else did I watch that I liked? I did like One Battle After Another. I liked Eddington. I thought those two were cool. They were interesting. There was a lot of silliness going on in those. I enjoyed a few others, but they're all the smaller films. Superman, Jurassic World. Who gives a shit about all that stuff?
Jurassic World was probably the worst film I saw all year. That was probably. I think that was the worst one.
I think I like Fantastic Four the least out of the trio from June. They were all comparably mid, but they all had.
You mean July?
Problems.
I think it was July, but
July, whatever. Yeah. Tron Ares I thought was the least boring of all the Tron movies, so take that with what you will. I rewatched Legacy thinking this is good, and I rewatched it. I was like, nah, not really. And I'm sure I'll revisit Ares and be the same, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just more of a Nine Inch Nails fan than a Daft Punk fan.
That's how
it boils down. I do like Daft Punk, but I don't know. This one was red. The other one was blue. I just thought it was funny when people were complaining like Tron Ares made no sense when they were hacking the Dillinger systems. I was like, literally nothing in any Tron movie makes sense. It's all magic. It might as well just be a sorcerer putting you in a computer. Who gives a shit? It's a theme park ride, you know? It was just cool seeing a recognizer fucking fly over Los Angeles. That was basically it. And I like the black chick, Ramses, whatever her name is. She's growing
You
on to
liked
me.
her?
First, I think she's hot.
Well, yeah, she's very
And
attractive.
also, I also liked how she's, you know, she didn't do. I thought she was going to do a face turn where she ends up being a good guy or she's going to save the day. She was actually just like it was like a metaphor for like it was like a metaphor for this kind of hiring what is it called? DEI didn't earn
DEI
it type thing.
practices.
She's just given the position of being in charge and she fucking ruins everything through her own ego and arrogance. And it was funny. I thought that was cool.
I
if they did that on
legitimately was
purpose.
surprised. I was legitimately surprised that they didn't have her turn at the end. I was like,
she doesn't have like a sympathetic, oh, please feel sorry for me. It's like, no, you did wrong. You were bad.
She just dies and just doesn't do anything good. She just gets upstaged the whole movie. It was very weird.
Yeah, Jared Leto, he does a good performance as a robot. It's funny because Sam Fisher, or what's his name? Is that his name? Sam Flynn from the second movie.
Sam Fisher is from a Splinter Cell.
Right. Sam Flynn's supposed to be a human, but he performed like he did the same performance as Jared Leto. Like they're both like.
No, he didn't.
People were sad. I mean, I think maybe the thing is people were sad that they didn't come back in the second movie or the third movie, but I just really didn't. I didn't really care for them that much. Olivia Munn's gorgeous, and Sam Flynn.
You mean Olivia Wilde?
Wild, my God, getting Predators in my head again. Yeah, I thought Olivia Wilde was fine. Sam Flynn, I feel sorry for that actor because he was in that Aragon movie. Aragon with the dragon?
Aragon.
Aragorn? Yeah.
Aragon.
And he was in that, and I really wish that he was in the third movie for the actor's sake. Like, I feel like he deserves it, you know? He's not a terrible actor. But, yeah, it's just Hollywood's a fickle bitch of a mistress, man. It's not fair.
Well, actually, since I put it on the thumbnail, I guess I might as well bring it up that since we're talking about a fickle bitch of a mistress, Christy, that apparently bombed real hard. The Sydney Sweeney boxing biopic, which I don't think anybody expected that to go anywhere. So I don't really know why, if anyone on this panel is particularly surprised by that, but she seems to be in a weird world nowadays.
The Smashing Machine also didn't really do fantastic.
Biopics
right?
don't do that well unless it's about like musicians. It's like you do a sport or really mainstream sports,
right?
Like super mainstream. You know, women's boxing, early MMA guys. You know, even unless it's super mainstream sports. I guess if there's kids involved, like a story about like, you know, a kid who overcame something, that usually goes pretty well too. But the music, that's been a lot of biopics lately. Now that I think about it,
the new Michael Jackson thing looks ridiculous with his fake nose.
Like, well, there's that. They did the Bruce Springsteen movie. They're doing that one with Hugh Jackman.
The one I don't like music biopics. I'm a musician, and they always seem to leave out all the grittiness. Like Bohemian Rhapsody sucked. There's a great BBC biopic reenactment movie called Who Wants to Live Forever? That's fantastic. I recommend you watch it right after Bohemian Rhapsody because it talks about all the crazy crap that wasn't in that movie. But I liked Better Man, where Robbie Williams, I'm not even that familiar with, where he's played by a monkey, like a chimpanzee. Like that one actually was quite good. I thought.
Oh yeah, that was. I remember that. I still have no idea who the hell that even was.
It's one of the better music biopics I've ever seen. Because I don't really like them typically. They're very formulaic and, like I said, very sugar coated. Straight Outta Compton was good, but they don't talk about how Jay-Z, like, you know, got arrested, domestic violence, because Jay-Z's not Jay-Z, Dr. Dre. He's one of the producers. You know, it's all about him, you know, so he's not going to put that part in the movie. Why would he do that?
I like this pretty much sums up Christy as a movie, as we just immediately moved on to every other biopic that's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, you'll check it out streaming. I saw they were pretty ambitious about putting in a bunch of theaters, which
It was
Sydney Sweeney.
2,000. It was over 2,000 theaters that was put in, and let me see. I have the. I think it made nothing. Hold on.
Yeah, if you want a Sydney Sweeney to do well in the box office, you have to advertise she's getting naked in this movie.
Yeah.
Because that, I hate to break it to you guys, but everyone loves to simp over her and talk about how great she is, but nobody sees her movies. You know?
$1.3 million over 2,000. So what is that? That's 1, 3.
I've heard so much about Sydney Sweeney, and I think the only movie I've seen of hers is where she's like got like a demonic nun pregnancy going on. What was that movie called?
It made less than $650 per theater it was in. That's insanity. But yeah, the one that came out last year with her. Yeah, unless she's her whole thing is that I get naked all the time. So unless she's going to do that,
she got naked in Euphoria, which I never saw, and neither did any of the people that love her saw because I heard it wasn't very good.
I feel like it's not even about her as an actress or anything anymore. It's just she has somehow become a symbol that she never intended to.
Well, and I see why people like her because she's high femininity, low effort beauty, and she lets you ogle at her, which is a welcomed thing this day and age. But in terms of her actual work resume, like she was in that movie with Glenn Powell, the remake of Much Ado About Nothing. I never saw it. I don't know anybody who saw it. Madam Web. I think more people saw Madam Web than anything. She doesn't star in that.
Madam Web.
Madam Web was amazingly awful.
Her web connects us all.
The jungle Spider-Man thing will live in my head. It'll flash before my eyes when I die. The jungle Spider-Man guy.
It was what is it? Madam Web had that reverse effect where people had to see how bad it was. It was
And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be one of these guys that's like nagging on Sydney Sweeney saying she's not attractive, she's gorgeous. But I think Madam Web, I realized I like Dakota Johnson more. She's attractive, yes, but she's fucking funny.
She looked like she was on all the drugs the whole time. She just didn't bother to act.
Her and Sydney Sweeney are a lot smarter than they let off. So, they know what they're doing. And I did like Sydney Sweeney's response. Like, the movie bombed, but we don't make the movie for the numbers. I really hate this day and age where you say, oh, I like this movie. And someone's like, it bombed though. It made no money. And I'm like, well, I'm not an accountant for Warner Brothers, but at the same time, we want movies to make more money. But at the same time, like we love Sydney Sweeney, but we won't go to the theaters to go see her movie. So it's just a weird mess of stuff going on.
Box office is a metric. It's not necessarily a metric of it's never a metric of quality technically.
Never.
It's because there's terrible movies that make a shit ton, and then there's great movies that that don't even make a dime.
And we want movies to make more money, but Avatar comes along, it keeps making billions of dollars, and yet we hate Avatar because it's generic and corpo slop and all that good stuff.
I still don't know 5 people who have seen the second Avatar movie. I know like 2 people.
I saw the second, and my regret was like, I should have just seen this in the theater. Because, it's big, loud, and dumb, and stupid. But, I mean, I don't know.
And a third one's coming out in a month.
I'm going to see it in the theater, just because. The theme park ride. It's a theme park ride. Watching Tron Ares, a pirated cam version of it, that was my one regret. I was like, I should be watching this in the theater.
And I'll be watching Avatar in theaters. It's probably going to be the best-looking movie that's ever been made. Kind of like how each Avatar before it was the best-looking movie ever made.
Yeah.
So,
and I love District 9 way more than Avatar. Don't get me wrong. That was like a litmus test from 2009. Which one did you prefer? Avatar or District 9? You can gauge someone's personality by their answer to that. But that actually reminds me, back with Predator, I think a big change was like make the aliens more like the prawn. Their language was like clicks and buzzes, and their face is like static and emotionless. They're insects. I thought that was cool. More of that, but anyway, back to Christy.
Yeah, I honestly don't think there's much to say. I didn't see it, so I don't think anybody has seen it.
No. Well, I heard that Movie Cynic said that it was actually better than Predator, and the wrong movie won this summer or this November, that weekend. But what was also interesting was there was all that rage bait saying how Predator was like queer coded. And it was like a rom-com, and like that was all like not really true.
Yeah,
that was all rage bait. But that being
Yeah.
said, Frankenstein, which everyone's gushing over, and Christy, these are very queer coded movies. Christy's literally like, she does become a lesbian, I think, at the end. And then Frankenstein, there were several scenes that I found pretty homoerotic. Not necessarily in a bad way, not necessarily in a good way, but I saw the queer codedness. Also, what they did with Elizabeth at the end of Frankenstein was pretty. That was pretty.
Well, not all of us have seen it, so
Sorry, I won't spoil anything. But it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. Christy, like I said, this seems like a streaming movie to check out.
Yeah, that seems to be the situation with a lot of these indie films. I went to over the years. I've gone to several of them, and they never ever make money. They're always kind of just Oscar baiting. No one goes to see them, and then that's why you end up with the situation at the end of the year or the end of the cycle where everyone's like, I've not seen a single one of these movies that's up for an Oscar. It's because they don't get this. The fact that this one got such a wide release is actually kind of surprising, because they usually do these limited releases, big cities, one theater.
The Smashing Machine.
Yeah, Smashing Machine was a little bit more, only because I think they had to do that on a wider scale because it was The Rock.
Well, Smashing Machine, I'm a big fan of Benny Safdie, his 3 previous movies. I was a little, disappointed with the Smashing Machine.
I thought it was pretty good, but then again, I also came up watching that stuff, so like those MMA guys. So
for me, I was comparing it to Good Time and Uncut Gems, which I did, and The Curse with Nathan Fielder, which I loved. So it was all right. But Christy, women's boxing, I just think maybe it's just a women's sport thing. Is it that bad with women's sports that we don't even watch?
There was another women's boxing movie that came out earlier this year, I think, or like maybe it was the end of last year, and that made no money either. And I don't remember what that one was called. So I think it's just women's sports in general don't make money, and then you're not how you expect a movie about women's sports to make money would be impossible.
Well, I liked
unless it's some really famous controversy like Tonya Harding or something.
I was about to say it was good. That was a wild one.
It's got to be something that broke through on a level that no one can forget.
Yeah, because you can only hear the story of like she overcame her shortcomings and got a championship. You can only tell that so many times. There's not a lot of stories where it's like, oh, she was jealous and kneecapped a competition. Like, that's like a story that writes itself. You know what I mean?
I feel like this would probably go over well. This is if they did a beach volleyball movie.
Yeah, we don't even need to know who the athlete is.
Yeah, don't even give them names.
Yeah, it's like we needed Cool Runnings for volleyball.
Right. That would be sick, actually.
So I really only have one more topic that was on the list that I guess we could touch on, only because I also put it on the thumbnail. And that is that Disney is still loves burning money, and we found that out through the Forbes report that the Willow show was it was $17 million an episode and isn't even on their service anymore.
Wow.
If you want to watch Willow, you got to pirate it.
You know what's crazy is, and I took it down because I got a copyright strike from MGM, so I took down anything that was iffy. But me and Leon, Words of Paradise, and Cinevere, we did a commentary for Willow. That movie's allowed on YouTube for some reason. It doesn't even get dinged for copyright. Like the music
probably
gets
abandoned
dings.
it.
Right? They don't even care about it. You can just upload Willow in full right now to YouTube. Now that may change in the future, which is why I removed it preemptively. But yes. As of right now, it is safe. They don't even have a copyright protection on it for some reason. Willow.
Yeah. Well, this was for the show specifically that they took down, and it was, it was. I always find it amazing that this kind of money gets just thrown around for dumb shit, and this is probably the worst example in the history of, because it's not. They can't even. It's not even on their. Like I said, it's not even on their service anymore. Yeah. So. They paid for it, and they didn't even do the Batgirl thing and axe it and use it as a tax write-off. They did they released it. It did nothing for them, and then they don't even get the positive of that. So
Imagine telling Warwick Davis, like, hey, we don't even think your show is worth like the cost to keep on the servers. Like, that poor guy. I love Warwick Davis. Okay,
He
Leprechaun
seems like
and
a nice
Willow.
guy. Yeah.
Yes. He's hilarious in that Ricky Gervais shows. He's in a couple. He's a fun guy, and he means well. He's a nice guy. He's got no controversies, and he wanted to get another big paycheck with his Willow show. And dude, Disney did him so dirty.
Dude,
They made a terrible show. They had a terrible idea that they executed terribly, and now they wanted to just like remove it from history.
Speaking
like
of
insult to injury.
Speaking of terrible shows that are going to cost a shit ton, they've just announced that Alien Earth have got a season 2 officially.
Oh, did they? That took a long
it's
time.
amazing.
Oop.
I'm not surprised because I actually heard a lot of normie friends like raving about Alien Earth, and I watched it prepared to, maybe this is going to be not as bad as people are saying. It is as bad as people are saying.
Oh, it's worse. Oh, great.
The ending of that first season is just unforgivable. It's just like, what is this? Like, no resolutions to any of these story arcs. And I hate TV shows. I hate streaming shows because it's all, you could have easily made a Willow Part 2, a Willow movie, but no, you got to turn it into a 10-hour bullshit because it's more content for the streaming platform. It looks better when it's just hours and hours of crap. It's just not cool, man.
The jokes they made about Willow 2 in the show. I don't know if you guys have seen Life's Too Short, where Val Kilmer dupes Warwick Davis into trying to raise money to do Willow 2, and they think it's going to make like $1 billion. That's probably like the funniest, closest we'll get to anything that's Willow related. That's actually
when
funny.
Warwick's trying to get his secretary to guess like who's behind the Batman mask. It's so good. But yeah, I mean, Willow was already kind of like a cult classic. Like, it didn't really.
Yeah, I like it.
I loved it because I grew up watching it, but it wasn't as successful or as well regarded as you and I would like to think it is. But I think it's more of a case of most people just hadn't seen it. Willow, because there's nothing really to hate about Willow, unless you have a phobia of tiny people, in which you do not watch Willow. That will be a triggering experience.
I have no strong opinions on Willow either way. I saw it. It was fine when I was a kid. I didn't, maybe it just didn't connect with me. It might have been.
When I rewatched it as an adult, and I could not help but feel sorry for all the tiny people actors who were just forced to like walk in these forested hills, like for take after take, and you could tell like their hips are hurting and their knees are buckling, and man, there's a reason why they all have walking sticks. Sorry, what?
It's show business, man.
I know, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much all the topics that I came in with today. It's still kind of slow right now in terms. I mean, obviously, Alien Earth, Predator Badlands was kind of the big topic, but it's still a relatively slow time. So, does anybody have anything they want to just kind of toss out there that maybe we didn't touch on? Zubenzo? Rags? Nah.
Pluribus was good, and All's Fair is so terrible, like your jaw will be wide open watching it.
Yeah, I need to check out how bad that is. After you told me, I need to check out how bad that is.
I was laughing out loud a lot, which is fun. When you're watching The Predator, I was not laughing. I was just upset.
The Predator's on.
The Predator.
Predator 2 is funny.
No, Predator 2, I love Predator 2. It's about Bow Wow.
I like the half of it. I like King Willie and the Jamaican voodoo posse and all the crazy
voodoo magic, man. Fucking voodoo magic.
There was this trend in the late 80s and early 90s where there had to be a lot of stuff had this reggae Jamaican beach vibe, and I did not oppose it.
Predator 2 was born in Jamaica.
Fuck yeah.
That would make sense then.
Fuck yeah. I love Predator 2. Danny Glover, too old for this shit. Gary Busey. And I like the jungle city Predator, whatever his name is. He's cool.
Where did Gary Busey's upper half go to this day? I don't understand how that.
Still there.
It's still it's floating. Just got clipped out of the level somehow.
Remember Bathroom Lady? I don't think he gives a shit.
So the thing about Predator 2 is it has a lot of those moments. So they no longer had to really lean into the what the fuck is this thing anymore. They kind of just jumped into it quicker. So they had to do a lot of those fish out of water moments for the people who were in the situations. And that one's a good one. They have obviously the legendary one with El Scorpio running off the top of a building, shooting, or not, I guess, sorry, getting shot off the top of a building, shooting off the Uzis. But yeah, so yeah, if nobody has anything else left, I guess we'll just go to, hopefully now it will work. Let's see. It's time to plug your shit. Yes, it worked. Good. I wasn't sure if this was going to work. That's where you tell us where you've been, where you are, where you're going, what you're doing, what you have coming out next. So I'll start with Stupenzo.
Yeah, We Watch. I'm actually re-releasing the first We Watch we did, which was for I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle and Vampire Dog. There's a double feature, but Vampire Dog is blocked in a bunch of countries because of I don't know, whoever owns the rights to that. So I just re-released I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. It's coming out. It's premiering tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I think I'm going to be on AJ's later tonight, Tighten Up Tuesday.
Oh,
him and
you're
Dax
pulling a three-peat today.
Yeah, him and Dax love talking about Digimon or whatever the hell and making me sit there and listen. So that's fun.
I liked Digimon when I was like 11.
I'm not. But other than that, I'll be live streaming probably Thursday night and then definitely Sunday night, usual time with Dorkside. And we're still doing this slow transition from Halloween into Christmas mode. I think this is like the best time to watch more horror movies. This is early November cold front time. So we're still going to be firing.
It almost feels like everything's dead outside.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get...
It's 5:30 p.m. and it's pitch black outside. It's a fucking miserable season. It's an awful, terrible, miserable season. It's cold and dark, and everything's
I'm kind of like
dead.
a natural vampire, so I feel like I'm just waking up earlier now, which is good. I mean, it was great being here. Thanks for having me. I'm sorry I talked a lot, but...
No, it's fine. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of bringing people on is, you talk about the topics. So
yeah, and it was great meeting you two guys, Bobby and Rags, fun shooting the nerd shit, just like old days.
Yeah.
Just tune into my channel if you like the EFAT movies, but wish it was done more by drunk Americans who smoked pot and cursed. That's kind of what we're doing. So
yeah, we don't have the demographics necessary to do a drunk American's EFAT.
Yeah,
it's just
well, if you liked EFAT but wished it was done by Beavis and Butthead, that's kind of more of the vibe. And I edit everything myself. I'm going to try to step up the editing process because you guys do it pretty cool with all the zoom ins and the highlighting bubbles and stuff. I need to get into that.
Oh yeah, the editors we use, they're good guys. Wolf and the rest of them, they do a good job.
It's an excellent job. Yeah, and I loved what was it? What did you guys do? Child's Play this season. That was great.
We did all the Chucky movies. Yeah, we did.
I do like those. I got Creepshow 2 coming out and The Blob. I want to do the remake Blob. We did the old Blob a while ago. So kind of step up the editing game, hopefully with those two, which is why I'm going to be re-releasing older stuff that got deleted for the time being, taking my time. But yes, thanks for having me, and I look forward to hanging out with y'all again.
Yeah, of course, dude. You'll be back. I can't highlight it yet; it didn't come through. But Goodwin said it best, I think. Hold on, here it is. If you like EFAP, but much shorter, drunker, higher, featuring Americans, so nothing like EFAP at all.
Good. Yeah, I mean, because I don't want to come off as derivative. I mean, Mystery Science Theater gets thrown out a lot, but it's like, no, we definitely don't.
We're far from the first to watch movies and make fun of them, and so don't you worry.
But also, like Mystery Science Theater, they would watch the movie over and over and over again and script it. It's like, what are you, insane?
No.
But we definitely watch a lot of high-octane crap, which is why I think I'm more forgiving for stuff like Badlands, because I watched Heartbeeps and Quicksilver Highway this year. Those movies are... kill me, please.
I watched a lot of bad 90s action movies, so I think that's one of the reasons I was a little bit more forgiving of it myself. So... Rags. I think pretty much everybody knows where to find you, but go on.
I have a channel called Rags, and I'm working on it. So hopefully there'll be more stuff there, and on Dog Bites, which will be the second channel. I upload the smaller stuff too, and of course, Every Frame of Pause is the podcast I run with the little platoon, Fringy and Mahler, and we stream on Saturdays, and we release stuff through the week when we got it. So yeah, be there, watch us, listen to us, buy our merch, give us money.
It's a really fun time. I've been on there a couple of times, and it's always a great. It depending on the topic, you got to be really into the topic because they're gonna dissect it a lot. So if you're really into a particular topic, they're your guys. Bobby.
Yeah, so the other half of Hard Cut, who couldn't make it tonight, Matt, the two of us, we're in everything together for our reviews. We usually release on Saturdays. We do our new stuff, so obviously this coming Saturday we have our Badlands review. We like to do our long format discussions, nothing scripted. We kind of just sit down and just bullshit and go through it. And then, of course, next week we have Running Man, the new adaptation. And then tomorrow we've got Running Man 87 coming out as our very first Patreon video for our subscribers on there. So that's exciting. And then because of the massive success that was Alien Earth for us, we've been doing all the Alien movies every few weeks in between our new releases. So we started with Alien. We just did Aliens last weekend was our release. And then after the next few new releases, we're going to drop Alien 3 and just keep going till we get all the way up to, hopefully Alien Earth Season 2. And that will be some serious
Not looking
growth.
forward.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
Some serious shit with that. So yeah, come check us out.
And obviously, you guys will be here on the show. At least one of the two.
Every
will
other
be,
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yes.
at least one of the two will be here.
Yeah.
As for me, I didn't do the Predator Badlands video because I didn't feel I could make it long enough to, for my minimums that I like to do. But I am gearing up. I'm doing a lot of research and gearing up because I prefer doing TV shows. That's kind of become the thing I like doing more. And as everybody probably hasn't seen, there's a new season of Spartacus coming out, which is it's an alternative history to an alternative history. I'm sure there's going to be plenty to play with that. And then after that, there's going to be immediately transition into Wonder Man, which is a nice race-swapped superhero show. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. And, we'll see what else pops up. Maybe another movie might pop up or something that I want to do. But I really like doing the TV shows. So I think I'm going to stick with that for the most part. That just leaves me to thank my guests, Rag Stupenzo, my co-host, Bobby. So yes, Sparta Chick. Somebody said it. Yeah, it's here, hold on. Yeah, it's they have a black female gladiatrix. Is that what they called those? Gladerites? I don't know what the fuck they were called. Female gladiator. Spartacus. I like that.
Sorry.
I'm stealing that. I'm doing it. But what was I saying? Oh yes. Thank you to my co-host. Thank you to the chat. Thank you for the super chats. I think we had at least one, but if there was more than one, thank you. And yeah. So you'll see us again in 2 weeks. And yeah. Catch you all later.
Yeah, everyone. See you later.